and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, pharmacists across the region are in Dominica for the 45th Annual Caribbean Association of Pharmacists Conference. In the news from the region, Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro to mobilize millions in militia over U.S. threats. Internationally, Kremlin plays down Ukraine president talks as U.S. President Donald Trump warns Russia's president may not want to make a deal. The details of these stories and more coming up next.
It's in the feeling in our weak side. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep this going. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
DBS News.
And welcome back. A special good evening to the listeners of Acoustic Worship Radio. First off, pharmacists from across the region have converged in Dominica for the 45th Annual Caribbean Association of Pharmacists Conference. The opening ceremony scheduled for tomorrow at the State House Conference Room from 6:30 p.m. Managing Director of Jolly's Pharmacy and President of the Dominica Pharmaceutical Society is Dr. Orin Jolly.
This year's theme, Pharmacy 2025 and Beyond, transforming healthcare through innovation, accountability, and research, is very important and pertinent for our times, as without innovation, we will not be able to solve our old problems with new tricks from both a success rate perspective as well as a cost perspective. On Wednesday, we will have the opening ceremony under the patronage of Her Excellency the President, as well as dignitaries, pharmacists, and other stakeholders. Throughout the week, we will have continuing education courses on topics such as cannabis for pain management, research papers on various medical topics, as well as costs in medical care and how we can keep costs down to provide better outcomes for patients. We last hosted the conference in 2008 in Dominica, and it was a very good success then, and we hope and trust that it will be a very successful week.
And that was the Managing Director of Jolly's Pharmacy and the President of the Dominica Pharmaceutical Society, Dr. Orin Jolly. A Dominican-born has been elected the new president of the Caribbean Union of Teachers. She's Sharon Clifton Kelsick of Casa Bruce, based in Antigua. She's the executive director of the Antigua and Barbuda National Accreditation Board.
It is quite an honor to have been elected as the president of the Caribbean Union of Teachers. Being only the second female to serve in this position, I feel even more honored, and I am looking forward to doing some great things over the next 2 years. One of the things I really want to do is to bring CUT closer to our membership. Many times, even as I serve also as the General Secretary of the Antigua and Barbuda Union of Teachers, and many times we ask, especially our younger teachers, about CUT. They don't know what it is. They don't know what we do. And so my hope is to be the bridge between especially our younger teachers and the organization, just ensuring that they know that we're here, they know that we're fighting for them, and just getting what their concerns are. And I'm hoping to do that throughout our units. We represent teachers from as far south as Belize and Guyana, and as far north as Bermuda. And so my aim is to really ensure our membership feels CUT and sees what we're doing. And the youngest teacher to the oldest teacher, they see who we are, they know who we are, and they see that we're fighting for them as one Caribbean organization.
And that was the new president of the Caribbean Union of Teachers, Sharon Clifton Kelsick. Senior Met Officer at the Dominica Meteorological Service, Itoma James, says while he welcomes the public seeking information from various sources, the official alerts issued by the Met Office remain critical. Speaking on the Disasters Anew program on DBS Radio, James stressed that these advisories guide the response of government, utility companies, and other sectors. He says the Met Office must therefore issue carefully defined warnings to ensure accuracy and accountability.
I personally am not somebody who is against, people having different sources for information, because, it's always good to have a second opinion. I don't have any problem with second opinions. And when people get that information from their sources, what it means is that you are informed. Maybe there may be slight differences in the way that the information is provided. Maybe somebody provides that information in a way that is easier for you to understand. And if it spurs you to act and put your plans in place, then I am for it. I would not be against people, getting information that can help them prepare themselves. As far as I'm concerned, they are helping the Met Office and they are helping our cause by actually getting people informed and having them be in a state that they are ready to act. As the main authority here in the country, we have the responsibility to put out official alerts which will then spur on different reactions from the government, from the private sector, from the public sector, from different people. They will have, the electricity company, the water company, they will act based on the information that we provide. So we have to be a bit more careful. We cannot just be as free to just say things and not be ready to deal with the consequences of what we say. What that means is we try to stick very close to the definition of the things, the warnings and the alerts that we have to put out, so that, that when we do something, we can stand by it and know that, okay, we are within our parameters and this is the risk that is posed and we have to do what we have to do now. So we let the people know when we have to let them know that.
And that was a senior Met officer at the Dominica Meteorological Service, Itoma James. A former DBS Radio National Reading Competition winner has mastered 19 subjects at this year's CXC examinations. 16-year-old Kennelly Barron, who won the National Reading Competition in 2017, captured all grade 1s and 2s across both CSCC and CAPE courses. Barron fast-tracked her education journey through an 8-month Academics School of Learning accelerated program. Director of the Academics School of Learning is Herman Williams.
Kennedy Barron is a very determined student. She's exceptional. She's a brilliant brain. She went SGE before the school closed, and then she transferred to PSS. And during that time, she wanted to cover more than the allocated subjects given to her by PSS. And her mom actually reached out to me asking for us to do additional courses with her. And then she said she would like to fast track her education. And that is something we wanted to really show Dominica, that individuals can actually fast track their education with the KIP program, seeing that Academic School of Learning have also done KIP. And we have actually done a project with Ajanaya Kazimi last year, where he did 9 courses at SMA and 4 courses, KIP courses at academics. But this time around, we had this student full-time with us, so we could cover 14 CSEC courses and 5 KIP courses. And 5 KIP courses would be the first year of the tertiary education a student will have. So this student excelled in that.
And that was the director of the Academics School of Learning, Herman Williams. The Ministry of Tourism has signed a contract worth over 190,000 EC dollars to conduct upgrades on the Indian River, one of Dominica's most picturesque and cherished attractions. The contract has been awarded to Chevron Royer of Premium Building Solutions, who will carry out essential maintenance at the river. This 90-day project aims to enhance the key areas that significantly impact the visitor experience. The upgrades will include resurfacing the parking lots, repairing the entry and exit gates, upgrading the septic tank system, enhancing the landscaping around the facility, and improving the interpretative room to create a richer space for sharing the stories of the river, its people, and its heritage. The St. Mary's Academy class of 1974 to 75 will host a week-long grand reunion in Rosa from October 11th to the 19th for 2025. Activities include a mass at the Rosa Cathedral, an island-wide tour, cultural showcases, and the highly anticipated Old Boys concert. The reunion committee, chaired by Alvin Thomas, brings together alumni such as Sobers Esprit and Joseph Tutti Geist to celebrate camaraderie, reflection, and national contribution. Alumni of the St. Mary's Academy, Sobers Esprit, highlighted the significance of the upcoming St. Mary's Academy class of 1974 to 75 reunion.
I think what reunion does, well, once it catalyzes people into action, it helps to build community. And we're living in a difficult time globally. Here people are uncertain. There's a lot of fear and about the future. And so people looking for new ways to solve old problems, lingering problems. A reunion would allow us to look at how we can best come together, mobilize resources, to build partnerships, and create a collaboration. Just imagine 93 years of a school life, and we never had the opportunity to do that. I think that, in fact, really calls us to action, really, at this time. Call to action. And it is not just a reunion for 2025, folks. I think the reunion have to also help to reshape and redefine how SMA community works in the future.
That was alumni of the St. Mary's Academy, Sobers Esprit. The Youth Development Division has described the 2025 Youth Week as a success. International Youth Day was observed on August 12th, and the week of activities that commemorated it under the global theme Local Youth Actions for the SDGs and Beyond. The week was designed to highlight the creativity, resilience, and leadership of Dominica's youth while providing platforms for their talents and innovation.
In Marigot, the community came alive with a dynamic open mic talent concert at the newly built Marigot Youth Center. Our young people filled the stage with music, poetry, and majority of which they composed themselves. And that proved once again that young Dominicans and young people, they are rich with creativity and youthful energy. In Roseau, we had 14 students who graduated from the coding and game development camp. Not only they mastered the basics of programming, but also they proudly unveiled their digital games they created themselves. This achievement speaks of their innovation and problem-solving skills that our youths are capable of when they are given the right tools and mentorship. We also celebrated the Teen Digital Summer Camp graduation, and that happened in Grand Bay, where we had 19 students who completed the training, and that training encompassed Microsoft Office, web design, basic coding, graphic design, and hardware maintenance. And these young participants left the program with basically the practical digital skills that will serve them in education, work, entrepreneurship. And finally, we gathered at the Kalinago Barana Ote, where we honored 120 youth volunteers who served during the Youth Summer Day Camp.
And that was a Chief Youth Officer Merita Hyacinth. Over 120 students from across the island have gained essential 21st century digital skills. This is as a result of their participation in the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project's Cyber Creators Summer Tech Bootcamp. Coordinator of the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project is Robert Tong.
The Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, CAR-DTP, under the Ministry of Public Works, Public Utilities, and the Digital Economy, is hosting the Cyber Creators Summer Tech Bootcamp, an immersive hands-on program designed to empower young people across Dominica with cutting-edge digital skills and a deeper understanding of emerging technologies. Held from July 21st, 2025, the Cyber Creators Bootcamp welcomed over 120 participants between the ages of 4 and 17 from primary and secondary schools across the island. The initiative aimed to foster digital innovation and creativity while equipping Dominica's youth with critical 21st century skills in coding, computer training programming, building apps, computer concepts, and lots more. This transformative initiative is part of the broader Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, a multi-island world bank-funded effort aimed at building resilient, inclusive, and tech-driven economies across the region.
And that was coordinator of the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, Robert Tong, taking us to the end of this evening's National Focus. Up next is news from the region and international.
It's in the feeling in our weak side. It's in the meaning in our squad. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are.
And welcome back. Now, news from the region. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has pledged to mobilize more than 4 million militia fighters in response to new United States threats after Washington raised a reward for his arrest and launched new anti-drug operations in the Caribbean. Venezuela's militia was created by former President Hugo Chavez and is officially said to have about 5 million members, although analysts suggest that the real figure is lower. The country's total population is about 30 million. The U.S. government, which refuses to recognize Maduro's last two election victories, recently imposed new sanctions on both his administration and the alleged cartel. The U.S. has not provided any evidence linking Maduro to drug cartels. Internationally, the Kremlin has played down talk of an imminent summit between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky. So again, the Kremlin has played down talk of an imminent summit between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky as Donald Trump renewed his call for the two leaders to meet to discuss ending the war in Ukraine. The push for bilateral meetings comes after the U.S. President met Putin in Alaska last week and welcomed 7 European leaders and Zelensky to the White House on Monday. Trump admitted the conflict was a tough one to solve and conceded it was possible the Russian president was not interested in ending hostilities. The Russian president told Trump he was open to the idea of direct talks with Ukraine. This brings us to this evening's news. Up next is sports.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Flo's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
And welcome to your DBS Evening Sports for today, August 19th. First off, we kick off with some football as Brianna Briggs netted a hat-trick as the national girls under-14 team came from a goal down to register their 4th straight win at the CFU Under-14 Girls Challenge, beating the USVI on Tuesday today. Dominica conceded an early goal following a bit of a mix-up between the goalkeeper and defender, but the young girls kept their head up and kept fighting and got the well-deserved equalizer soon after, with Kelsey Hussey converting from a penalty shot. Brianna Briggs made it 2-1 in favor of Dominica with a brilliant finish. Briggs got her second of the match at the stroke of halftime as Dominica took the 3-1 lead into the half. Briggs got her third goal soon after the restart as Dominica coasted in the end to win the 4-1 win. Dominica ended the group phase as the only undefeated team in the group and topped the standings with 12 points. Into more sports, the president of the Kensborough Football Club, Clifford Bala Celia, remembers the late Cuthbert Alcid as a true servant of the game. Cuthbert, who was affectionately known as Long Cuffy, was a former national player and Kensborough stalwart. He passed away last night.
What I can say is a lot of us around, club-wise, family-wise, you know what I mean? And a man of good head, every technician, you know, and you're showing his views. Did a lot of things when you the time of the off, man. Boy, Coffee, I mean a lot. Anytime I approach the team and I make a move overseas, the long boy I speak to you, and he was not easy, you know, give your hat up and just take your talk, but you do what you have to do. National level, you're going to put better defenders over the years. But as we say, you like to head, you church.
And that was the president of the Kensborough Football Club, Clifford Bala Celia. Former Kensborough and national striker Cecil Abu Elwin says Cuffy was a great defender.
Go way back playing youth football for Dominica and the national team and for Kensborough. We played together for a couple of years. So that's why, and we were very good friends. So to all his family the best. Very good defender, and he read the plays very good too. As a defender, he read the plays very good, very, very good. Very quiet, humble guy, and he will be missed.
And that was a former Kensborough and national striker Cecil Abu Elwin. Into some more sports, Aiden Makram, Temba Bavuma, and Matthew Bretsky also made important half-centuries as South Africa thumped Australia by 98 runs to take a 1-0 lead in their third match ODI series on Tuesday today. South Africa took first knock and got to 296 for 8 in their 50 overs. Aiden Makram got 82, Temba Bavuma 65, and Bretsky 57. Travis Head got 4 for 57 for the Australians. In search of 297, the Australians were dismissed for only 198. Mitchell Marsh got 88, but Australia crashed from 60 without loss to 89 for 6 in the run chase. Keshav Maharaj got a maiden 5-wicket haul, taking 5 for 33. South Africa won by 98 runs. The second ODI is set for Friday. Into some more cricket, Alec Athanaze and the St. Kitts Patriots will be looking to put an end to their second match losing streak as the Republic Bank CPL continues tonight. The Patriots, after winning their opening match of the season, have suffered losses to the Guyana Amazon Warriors and the Trinbago Knight Riders. They will battle the defending champs St. Lucia Kings tonight. That game gets underway from 7 p.m. In more sports, Carifta Games gold medalist Addison James found the going tough as he was not among the top throwers in the finals of the men's javelin event at the Pan Am Youth Games in Paraguay on Monday. James was off his A game last night as he managed a distance of 62.48 meters on his best throw. He did not advance to the final 8, his efforts landing him in 9th place overall.
Well, I still feel that I accomplished something even though it wasn't my best, but today just wasn't my day, but I went out there and did my best, so I'm still grateful for it. I just know that my time will come and I'm going to work forward towards it.
Now your season has officially ended. What's the plans going into the next season?
Well,
going back to Jamaica?
Well, my plans going into the next season my work will be more seriously, more time spent on my track, etc. So I just know it will be a good season coming forward.
Any plans coming up for Addison James in the javelin event?
Well, yes, I have plans coming up which in my event by next season I want to go over the 75 meter barrier. And one of the biggest things I want for next season is breaking our Carifta national record.
That was national athlete Addison James. Dominica's final athlete to compete at the Games will be Trennis Hamilton. She will compete in the women's shot put on Thursday evening. Riding into some cycling news, the Dominica Cycling Association will be launching its grassroots development program with the launch of the Kiddies Cycling Festival this weekend at the Bayfront. President of the Dominica Cycling Association, Ronald Charles, says the aim is to help build more awareness for the sport of cycling. The event is carded for Sunday.
We're encouraging fathers, parents, mothers, children, and everybody that is a perfect time to bring your little boy, your little girl who has a BMX or a mountain bike, who wish to just participate in a very safe environment. We're hoping to have a lot of fun games. So we are asking persons to turn out. Please register with anybody from the Dominica Cycling Association because by Wednesday, we would like to have, or Thursday, we would like to have a good count as to the number of persons that will be attending. That is for the purposes of catering and all that. So we're looking forward to this. We are hoping that we would be able to generate some kind of registration for the academy that we're hoping to have, and that having that cycling academy, it would be a general cycling academy. And we're hoping to meet with the young people, that is those that are very young, 5 years, 6, 7, and so forth, on weekends, and take them on little rides, and safe rides, I would say. So we're looking forward to this. This is a big thing. This is something that we would really like the young people to participate in.
And that was the president of the Dominica Cycling Association, Ronald Charles. Kicking back into some football, Valvoline United will be looking to remain in the hunt for a top 3 finish in the DFA Premier League as that tournament continues tonight at the DFA Technical Centre. We United are sitting in 5th place on 25 points, and they trail 3rd place Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers by 6 points with 2 games left in their season. We United will fancy their chances of making up ground tonight when they come up against bottom of the table DSFC, as that game is carded for 6:30 tonight. A win for We United will take them to 28 points, keeping their hopes of a top 3 finish mathematically alive. DSFC, on the other hand, are already relegated and will only have their pride and the love for the game to play for. And kicking into some, well, not kicking, but bowling into some cricket, the national wicket-keeper, batsman Gian Benjamin and Kazimi Benjamin smashed imposing centuries as the Point Ridge Thunder Kings notched up a comfortable win over the Central Centipede as the Kalinagua Premier League continued last weekend. League coordinator is Alexander Burton.
Winning the toss and batting, Thunder Kings hit the highest score of the competition, 325 for 1. Gian Benjamin, national player, hit 151 not out. Kazimi Benjamin, former national player, 121, and Malinga Bruni supported with 45 not out. Kevin John Baptist, the only successful bowler, 1 wicket for 29 runs. Needing 326 for victory, Central Centipede was skilled out for 85 runs. Thunder Kings winning by 240 runs.
Meantime, national player Arsenio Fountain also registered a century, leading his team to victory. National youth cricketer Aidan Burton also got a century as the Bombers picked up a massive win.
Game number 2 on Saturday, Concord Super Kings versus Izulukati Bombers won the toss and batted. Izulukati Bombers scored 304 runs with no wickets in their 20 overs. National player and West Indian under-19 player Arsenio Fountain blasted 157 runs not out, and he was accompanied by Aidan Burton, the former national under-15 player, 113 not out, thus posting the highest partnership of the 12-year competition, 304. Concord Super Kings hitting 305 for victory were restricted to 142 for 9 in 20 overs. Roger St. Valmont, 39. Kadim Gis, 30, and Kelvin Burton, 20. Bowling for Bombers, Wayne August, 3 for 21. Ray Kazimi, 2 for 10, while Drente August, Mario Lucien, Kellen Christmas, and Jason Alexander took 1 wicket each.
And that was the league coordinator, Alexander Burton. In other results, Cynical Red Force defeated the BA Grinders by 1 wicket, and GM Strikers defeated Atkinson and Trizzle Dynamic Stars by 86 runs. The time is now 6.